Hi, Hillside. Daryl Siplinga from the Hillside Council, along with Pastor Ron, to give you our update for this month's council meeting. We met the third week of the month in February, as we usually do, and much of what we covered was pretty standard in terms of our meeting. There were no major issues that stood out. But we'll try and highlight a couple just to kind of keep you updated. It's great to be back and to gather around as council members and begin to, again, make plans for the future and think about what the future means. One of the things at this meeting, in addition to the regular reports, is we also considered the recommendations about new members in and one transfer out. So 3 new members or family members who came into Hillside family officially as members, and one transferred to another church. And so always fun to kind of see the names and see why people are choosing Hillside, and that's good for us to do. The other thing we do each meeting is we go around the circle and say, well, who have we met new at Hillside? And that's been a really important exercise. Sometimes we come up stumped with some names and, what was their name and what was their last name again? And I try to introduce myself at each service when I'm with people I don't know. I probably introduce myself to people I should know and should remember their names. One of the things I want us to take from all of this is that welcoming people is important, and we consider it important in the council. We hope all Hillside members continue to do that. We've been identified as a friendly congregation, and that means we have to keep reaching out and reminding people, even when it's uncomfortable for us to do that, and even when we have to remind ourselves again of the person's name. So keep doing that. We'll keep doing it as council members, but we think it's really important for all of us to continue to do that as we seek to be welcoming.
Often we have staff members report, just to let the council know what they do. And even though Andy's at all the council meetings, we thought this month it'd be really good just to hear from Andy Pasma. And my friends, he does a lot. Andy is such a good gift for us here at Hillside. And there are so many areas that are so significant that he's just behind the scenes and working hard. I think of technology, communications, finances, human resources, staff support. Andy just keeps plugging away on all those things. And really, and from a personal standpoint, Andy allows me, and I think really all the staff members, we get to do the stuff that's so much fun. Mm-hmm. We get to do ministry, and Andy just is there to continually support us and lift us up and provide what we need to do that. And so if you see Andy, tell him thanks, and tell him that we really appreciate what he does. We talked a little bit about the kitchen with the update going on there, and we have contractors coming in, and we are at a place where starting to order some things that are going to be in there, and they think it's going to be about a 4 to 6 week process of changing over once it starts. And so we got to find out when's the time where we can do that and be without the kitchen for 4 to 6 weeks. And so it's fun that we have challenges to find those kind of times where we're not really busy. Mm-hmm. And so we'll let you know, and hopefully that'll happen. We're hoping some of us before Vacation Bible School, that have it all ready to go for Vacation Bible School. And then want to, again, give you an update about the group that's meeting in the multipurpose building on Sunday evenings at 5 o'clock. Pastor Jordanis from Cuba has been meeting with the group there. He's been meeting in his home, and now they're getting a little large for that. They want to be a little more active and so on. And so they've been meeting at 5 o'clock in that multipurpose building for the last couple of weeks, and they are so excited to have a place and to have just that time that they can gather together and use the kitchen, they use the space, they worship together there. And so we're excited about that. Working in partnership with LaGrave Avenue Christian Reformed Church, they are providing a lot of the financing for this, the funding for this. And so it's also good just to be working with other churches and see what God is doing. I know it's going to it might at times for some of you create a time where it's like, oh, I wanted to use the multipurpose building for this. And again, we can try to, we're going to try to work everything out, but just thanks in advance for your patience and willingness to bless this new church start that's going on there.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. That's a reminder that our facilities, whether they're the kitchen or the multipurpose room or the sanctuary or whatever, are here for a purpose, and that is to be used. And so we want them to be well used enough so that maybe we have to talk together to cooperate and collaborate to make things happen. So it's a good reminder of that they're not there for a monument. They're there to be used. And so it's great to have the opportunity to do that. Many of you joined us this past month for some of the congregational feedback meetings. They were kind of labeled the HSR report, but I prefer to think of them as really our conversation about how we can best move forward in relationship to the denomination and being true to who we are and what the denomination has asked us to do in terms of that. And so wasn't about, just to clarify, it wasn't about making a decision about our stance relative to the HSR report. It was about what our standing is related to the denomination. And the last Heads Up Hillside has a link for both a recording of one of the meetings and then a link also for the handout from those meetings. So if you want to access those and review those again. As we reported earlier, our plan is to stay with the Christian Reformed Church and be able to allow council to make some determination about how a new council member might come in with maybe some questions about some confessional matters, and we're able to do that, and we're thankful for that. There are also a number of implementation steps that were a part of that. Most of those will happen behind the scenes, and we'll take care of those and kind of check those off between the Long Range Planning Committee, the staff, and the council, a number of things. The one thing that I hope that you'll see some evidence of over the course of the next 6 to 12 months is our effort to really work hard at making sure that we continue to learn to be welcoming and have that be a part of who we are, regardless of people's viewpoints and stances. And one of the things that kind of is a burden to me is the divisiveness that we see out in culture. And I would hope that we would find a way at Hillside Church to, even if we have differences, to be able to come together in one faith and one belief, and we have one Lord and Savior, and center on that, and even understand each other's differences about different points, and do that in a way that's an example to the world about how people with differences can be together. And that also means understanding, well, how do we welcome people who have different viewpoints on this? How do we welcome people who maybe have a homosexual orientation and be able to welcome them well, and learn also to be able to respond well to our kids and young people as they question that and work through that and come to understand that. We have work to do on that side, and I hope we do well with that together as a church. Also, I think so. Will be some important next steps, and we think we can be successful about that. We ask for your continued prayers and input as we move along the way. You hear in some of our reports from those meetings that people express some concerns about that and whether or not we'd be able to do that. How can we stay true to who we are, yet be welcoming to a variety of viewpoints? So that's an important challenge, but a worthy challenge for us to undertake.
Thank you. Thinking about all that, we also talked some about the selection of new office bearers. We're going to need some new shepherd leaders and service leaders. On council, we're going to actually need, 5 new people to fill various positions. And so I got to make sure I get these right. All right, we need an elder for the youth position, a youth elder who works with Kirk with middle school and high school. And so we need an elder for that. Adult and family elder. We also needed an elder there. Eric Van Hofwagen is stepping down there. Lou Northhouse has been the youth elder. So we have those 2 positions and then 2 deacon positions. the one in compassion, and we need a finance deacon as well. And then our leader, council president Daryl's going to be stepping down at the end of this council year as well. So we need to fill that position. Ask you to be in prayer for those, and if you have nominations, people you want to suggest, call the church office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for keeping an open mind about how you might be in one of those roles and positions, and thinking about how to move through that. And if you have questions about how that all works in what is our position of kind of continuing to do what we've always done relative to office bearers, but maybe this whole process has brought up questions for you, certainly give Ron a call or myself a call. We'd be glad to kind of talk that through with you. I always get to end up with talking about the finance report, and so we did receive the financial reports through January, and so we continue to celebrate the fact that we're in contributions ahead of expenses in terms of direct costs, and even ahead of the budget plan of where we wanted to be at this point. However, we are behind our hoped for budgeted contributions level by about 4.5%. So that's not very much behind, but a little bit behind. And so as we think about building the budget for next year, it allowed me to think about even my own situation, my own household. And often I've been on an automatic pilot, even though I'm kind of old-fashioned and I still use the envelope. I'm old-fashioned in that respect. Maybe I'll have to switch to that. But it did make me think about, okay, what is my weekly commitment, and what should it be? And sometimes we get on an automatic pilot with something, and it's time to reconsider. So we've done that in our household to reconsider that, how we might increase our giving. And not everybody's in a position to do that, but if you are, this would be a good time for you to prayerfully consider that, in part because it would help us in the development of next year's budget too. So if you'd like to join me in thinking about that for yourself, I hope that you do that. We really left our February meeting celebrating God's goodness to us in a variety of ways. Again, you've heard the reports of all the things that have happened over the course of the last several months here, with good things happening at Hillside, and we continue to celebrate that. So we're thankful for your faithfulness in attendance and in contribution and in prayers for leadership, and we ask that you continue to do that.
Thanks.
Are you starting or am I?
What do you think?
Last time you started and then I went in. I'll start and just keep going.
All right.
That'll be the only thing new in this whole report.
What?
The main camera. I guess you're saying we should start whenever we're ready.
Whenever you're ready, yeah.
If we wait till we're totally ready, we might never start.